Hey guys, so if you follow me on Instagram, my personal Instagram that is, which is the Whimsical Cloud, and I have also talked about it in sort of my studio vlogs and things, you'll know that as of like late autumn last year, we made the decision to homeschool our daughter, and so she no longer attends school. And I've had like a few questions about that. Like people are just generally interested, which is absolutely fine. I think that's great, and I am happy to share information as and where I possibly can. And so I thought I would make this video for you. As to the information regarding my daughter, I will not be telling you how old she is, her name, or the reasons why we home educate, because that is private to her and us as a family. But I am very happy to share like the other details and all that kind of stuff. So we started this homeschool journey we sort of eased ourselves into it because, truth be told, it was a bit of a shock to the system for all of us when it started, but we have kind of like been finding our feet and easing ourselves into it, and over the course of what we've done, 4 months, we kind of feel like we're finding our feet. We will probably always be finding our feet, and we will probably always be changing how we do things, but for now things are kind of going really well. We kind of had like a nice kind of ease ourselves into things as we kind of like exited the last bit of the year. We needed to take some time for ourselves to kind of adjust and heal and all of those kind of things. And then from January, we were kind of like rocking and rolling with it. So at the end of last year, I sat down, and I'm a planner. I do planner videos. This is what I do. I plan. So I sat down and I drew up a plan. I wrote down all the months of the year, and I came up with some ideas that we could kind of, do for homeschool. So I drew up a chart, and that chart now still plays an important part of our home education journey, but it's been tweaked and we're being more flexible with it now. So I use the term homeschool, but we also unschool. So maybe I should call ourselves home educators. So basically, we do a mix of homeschooling and unschooling. The homeschooling is where we have set kind of like projecty things or set things to work on. And that is what I planned out at the end of last year. So every month I plotted out that we would do a season. So obviously one season would last us for like 3 months. So we would do a season, we would do a project, and then we would do like a country, because I thought that might be quite fun to look at a different country, and I thought it'd be fun to like, cook the food pertaining to that country, learn a little bit about their language, their politics, all those kind of things. I thought that might be fun. I'm a bit of a geek. I like kind of researchy projects. I like schoolwork, if I'm honest. I like pens and paper and all that kind of stuff. So I thought it would be fun. And then interspersed with that is like general things like reading and writing and maths and craft and art and all of those kinds of things. But then I realised that we were actually quite rigid, and that wasn't necessarily suiting my daughter. It wasn't necessarily suiting us. So I let the reins go, which I can tell you was a little bit hard. I let the reins go, and we started exploring more of an unschooling kind of way. Now, I follow Lulastic Hippie Shake here on YouTube, and she calls the unschooling method a bit of a following your own curiosities. And that, I think, is a very, very accurate description of what I think unschooling is. So that means that if you don't know this term, it's a bit strange. it's basically like, and my daughter is very good at this. She will suddenly come up with a question like, where do rainbows come from, or how is the swings at the park made? And so I will follow that curiosity with her, and we'll go off and we'll research it and we'll find out all about it. We're basically following her curiosity. And she got given a canvas for Christmas that she wanted to paint, and I was like, what are you going to paint? And she said, I want to paint a giraffe, but I need a bit of help with what a giraffe looks like. So then we went off and we did some research on giraffes, and then she went off and painted her canvas. And most recently, near where we live, we have some wind turbines that have recently sprung up, and she was like, what are they and what are they for? And so we started exploring renewable energy and wind and sustainable living and ways that we can look after our earth. So following your own curiosity is really, really working for us at the moment. And I would say that most of the time we tend to follow that method. My daughter loves to paint and draw, and so we do that most days. She loves to read. We always read every day, always at bedtime, but always in the daytime as well. And she's actually a bit of a numbers geek, and I'm not a geeky number person, but she really likes her maths, so we try and do little bits of those every day as well. All the stuff that we do is age appropriate for her as well, although she does punch a bit above her age with some things, and we are following that. You know, she's very good. She's quite advanced with her mathematics, and so we use apps. She has an app, and that's the app is actually for a couple of years older than she's doing, and she's pretty much done most of it. There's a couple of modules on it that she's not there with yet, but she loves it. She sees it as a game. I think the beauty of some of these things from when like I was a child is we didn't have those kind of apps and things, and obviously she has an iPad, but we do restrict that. We pretty much don't watch any telly in the day, to be honest. We may have a little bit of a sit down late afternoon and watch a bit of telly just to relax, but we're not telly people ourselves. Me and John, we're not telly people, and so she's not really a big telly person, which is a-okay by us. She loves her books, and that is just amazing. But the apps are pretty good, like the children's apps that are out there now are pretty good, and she sees these things as games, which are brilliant. And there are loads of, like, we've got sort of board games which she loves to play, which is great because she doesn't realise it, because she's learning through play. We play a lot of board games, and she's learning so many different like number skills and math skills and all that kind of thing, so that is really good. So we're pretty much unschooling. She's learning predominantly through play, and she is very self-led on the unschooling thing, which I think a lot of small children are. A lot of small children are inquisitive, and they ask questions and they want to know things, and so I am following that. We both are. We share our homeschool, we share our work. John works 3 days a week, I work 2 days a week, and they are different. So on the days that I work, John is homeschooling, which is great because we get to share our experiences and our different strengths. So my strengths are like the art and the crafts and the English language. John's strengths are the science and the maths. Brilliant. And then we both love doing forest school or nature things. We're very, very, very into nature-y things. And so we're very much enjoying our journey and our experiences here and learning all about it. And there are times though where nothing kind of sparks, and so that is when we are falling back to our project plan that I started right at the beginning of the year, and it is really good. It means that on days where she's a bit of a nerd, she's a bit of a geek, she likes to do schooly stuff, and she often asks to do schoolwork. And I mean, like, John and I are a big believer that education comes in all manner of ways, doesn't just happen at a desk with paper, it happens out there in the big wide world. And so we kind of homeschool or unschool 24/7, because she's just constantly learning. You know, when we bake together, and she helps cook dinner, she learns about weights and measures and counting and life skills in cooking and all that kind of stuff. So the education is kind of like all the time. But and there is some paper based like learning as well, and she does ask to do that. So we are quite fortunate that she's motivated. She has a thirst for knowledge. She wants to find out about this stuff. So that's, you know, that's really, really good. And so some days she's like, oh, can we work on my project? And I'm like, yeah, great, let's work on your project. And so yeah, that's when my my plan comes in. So so we've got the seasons, we've got a project, and we have a country. I also worked out like different holidays in the year, like, you know, Easter or Valentine's Day, that kind of thing, so we could do some fun stuff around that as well. And that kind of really works well. We do a mix of like papery based stuff that kind of like goes in a folder and then gets put on the shelf, and then we also do some stuff that goes on the wall. But not everything, not all work you do is wall worthy, and not all education comes in a paper format. I've kind of struggled a little bit to explain that in some ways to some older generations who don't necessarily understand the schooling that we're doing, and that, like, you know, they sort of look at our wall in the dining room and they kind of think like, well, you haven't done anything since last week. And it's like, no, we've done tons of stuff, but not everything that we do is worthy of putting on the wall. Not worthy, but not everything is something that you necessarily display on the wall. You know, if you're doing maths work, that's not really something you put on the wall, that goes in a folder. And there's plenty of education that doesn't even require any paper-based work. You know, there's so many questions that get answered when we research that never ever gets, you know, paper-based work. But as she gets older and older, that will probably change. That will become probably more paper-based stuff. We're really enjoying incorporating a lot of nature and forestry school into it as well. And children need to be outside. Children need to get muddy and experience the outside world as well. It all kind of makes like a rounder education. And so one thing I've done with this plan is I kind of set something out for every month. But I was new to this, and so I've tweaked it again, because January's project we did Arctic animals, and February we did weather, but we had some sort of time out because my parents came over and visited us from Italy, which was great because we used Italy as our country, and we kind of focused a lot when they were here on Italy. And we did fun things, like we did a pizza cafe and stuff like that, and they kind of spoke to her in Italian and stuff. And that was really good. But now we're March, we come into spring. Our season has changed from winter to spring, and I did plan to do space in the solar system, but actually we've started a vegetable patch in the garden, and, you know, spring is springing up all around us. So I've changed that to be spring and like the garden and vegetables and nature and birds and all of that kind of thing. So space in the solar system is now being put back to later on in the year, and we'll probably do that in the autumn when the nights start drawing in again, and so we can use a telescope and look at the stars and all of that kind of stuff, and kind of put it more practical. I'm trying where possible. I know that, as from my own personal experience, I learn better when there is a mix of paper or textbook stuff as well as practical experiences where you can actually see what you're learning in a real environment. Which is why, I mean, we have done a few like themed cafes in this house, and we do things like we design an advert for our cafe, we design the menu and write that up and choose what food we're going to have. So We make banners and decorations for our cafe. We make a shopping list to go and buy the food. We go and buy the food. We make the food. And then John is our customer, bless him, or grandma and granddad, or nonna and nonno. And we then wait on them, and then we bill them, and we learn about exchanges of money and all that kind of stuff. So we find that the practical side of stuff is a really good way to learn, and so you can actually put some context to the learning. So themed cafes have been working really well for us. So yeah, so talking of real life experiences and real life actually showing you to make you want to like showing people so that they understand, let me show you now. This is what our dining room wall currently looks like. I started taking some bits off, and then I thought I would just probably make a lot of sense to kind of show you it before it kind of comes down. So I just have this month we're studying, and then it's broken down into 3 sections. So we've got the season here, and then we've got like our projects and projects and kind of like special occasions on holidays. These are only like rough lines, okay, so they're not kind of set in stone. Some of the stuff will kind of like merge over. So another month it wasn't weather, it was Arctic animals, and so like the winter and the Arctic animals, they all kind of merged. And so bearing in mind also that this is just work, like artwork and bits and pieces that we put on the walls. This isn't everything that we do in a month or a week or whatever. This is just stuff that we put on the walls. Sometimes I've taken a couple of bits off of this wall and put like more like newer things up. So it's kind of like a wall that's kind of always changing and emerging. So yeah, we've got the seasons, our project and / holidays, and over here we've been learning about country. This month we've been doing Italy because my parents have been over from Italy, but we are gonna keep a bit of Italian stuff here because I want to kind of get her into learning Italian so that she can kind of communicate in Italy when we go over there, and as she gets older and everything, it'd be good for her to learn another language. So yeah, that's how our wall kind of looks. That's not cobweb, that's a piece of sellotape up there because we had something hanging up there, we had bunting, so there's no cobwebs. So yeah, that's kind of like our projects wall and our art wall. I'm just gonna like take most of this off now and switch it over to spring. So like got loads of different words there that represent like that we read, and so what I do is like we kind of read them, and she gets to learn what they look like and what they mean, and sometimes she practices writing them, sometimes they go on the wall, sometimes they don't. And I'll say like, can you find all the words about the weather, or can you find all the clothes words, like we've got jumper on there and coat and hat, and we'll like put them into groups and things. So that's really cool. So I'm gonna make up some spring words and change that over here, and things, yeah. And then on this side we have our kind of just our charts. That's like our date and time board, which we haven't updated for a little while, and yeah, we just have those up, and that's kind of what our dining room looks like. We've got a couple of shelves and things. These are like educational materials, things like butterfly cards, spot. This tub here has got some numbers in that I made. We've got flashcards, different books, different workbooks and things. These are kind of like some games and puzzles. More books down there. Yeah, these cupboards are actually pretty shameful at the moment. As I mentioned, we had my parents staying with us, and things just kind of got shoved on here, but these are all our art and craft supplies. But like, yeah, they're kind of a bit of a ramshackle at the moment, but this is where we keep all our arts and crafts stuff. So the dining room is pretty much our like education room. It's got some toys in there, big tub of musical instruments. We like making music and singing songs, don't we? What's your favourite? What's your favourite instrument? Crunch, crunch, carrot. This is our what? Our books. So,
and there's one down there.
Oh, there is one down there. So you'll be able to hear a bit of Peppa Pig on in the background. Got a bit of Peppa Pig on today, haven't we? Feeling a bit tired now, aren't you? And your head hurts, yeah, because you fell off the sofa, didn't you?
No, when I was going on the sofa, I hurt it.
Oh right, when you were going on the sofa, you hurt it. Yeah, so we're just having a bit of a chill out. But that means Mummy could do a bit of a video while we were watching a bit of Peppa Pig, doesn't it? Yeah. Do we watch much telly in the day?
No.
No, we don't, do we? We're always busy, aren't we? Doing things. Like out in the garden, or what else do we do?
Games in the garden.
Games in the garden, yeah. So anyway, this is our bookcase in the front room. This is where most of our books that kind of relate to some of the themes that we're looking at live. You've got loads of books in your bedroom, haven't you?
Yeah.
How many?
I don't know.
Tons and tons, haven't you?
Yeah.
Loads and loads.
Yeah, because I got my new Kallax.
Oh yeah, you've got your IKEA Kallax unit, haven't you?
Yeah. Like you had in your office.
Yeah, the one I used to have in my office, that's right. Where do we buy most of our books from?
Shops.
Charity shops, don't we? We went yesterday, didn't we, and bought a new book. Yeah, we're quite good at scouring charity shops to find bargains. Like most of the charity shops round our way are sort of 20p or a pound. Pardon?
I was going to get a book.
Okay, hold on. Yeah, so we have a lot of books because we scour charity shops and buy second-hand books like, hey, 50p and stuff. So these ones, as I said, relate to kind of like the themes that we're looking at the moment over the next few months. Next month maybe, just rotate them whenever we fancy it, don't we? Just keep rotating it whenever we fancy it. And they're a mix of educational books as well as what sort of books? Fun books? Stories? Yeah. So I'll just sort of show you a few of them because we're going to be moving into looking at spring. We've been looking at weather, haven't we? We've been looking at weather. We're moving into spring now. We're still going to keep looking at weather, and because we've got our vegetable patch that's underway, we're going to be looking at gardening, aren't we? Yes. So in here we've just got some books. Most of these sort of like educational books came recommended by Twinkle, which is a subscription I use.
The clouds book.
I know, you were given this by one of my subscribers, Laura, weren't you? Of course you can. So yeah, so we've got, you want to show everyone? Oh, nice. It's all about different clouds, isn't it? It's a lovely book. So we've got different books on like the seasons, skip through the seasons, what causes weather. And yeah, we've got some, this book is amazing. I love this book. David Litchfield illustrations are just amazing anyway, but it's called Earth, which is fantastic. We've got Peppa's Nature Trail. See, look, 50p. Superworm. This is a fantastic book, a little book of garden birds, because you can press it and you can hear what they... Okay, hang on a minute then. We've got some beetles and bugs. We've got lots of weather books up here, so different things about the weather. We've got storybooks. You've got your deer one, yeah, and we've got, this is a really lovely one, My First Book of Garden and Wildlife by the RSPB. Then we've got like fun counting ones, like 10 Wriggly Caterpillars. This is a Marks and Spencer's book, I think it was, but it was really good. And yeah, just some like storybooks that kind of got a loose kind of springy garden kind of theme. Oh, Biscuit Buttons and Pickles. I used to love these when I was a little girl, and I found them in the charity shop, so I had to buy them. Yeah, so this is our bookcase in the front room.
Dining room.
No, this is the front room where we watch telly and we have the sofas. So the themes I came up with a mix of on my own and asking my daughter what sort of things like she would be interested in, and just, yeah, you know, running running with that basically. I subscribe to Twinkle, which is an online resource. It has all like the curriculum stuff from early years foundation all the way up to secondary school. I paid for at the end of the year, I paid for like the full whammy, the full one. I don't think I needed it at this stage, if I'm perfectly honest. I thought I did, and I definitely think that as she gets older and moves up the key stages, certainly towards the end, if we're still homeschooling by then, that definitely Twinkle I would be subscribing to again, because there's so much on there. It's a massive resource. This is not an ad, by the way, or an affiliate. I just do like them, so I want to tell you about them. We are using it now, but we are not using anywhere near as much as we possibly could be using, purely I think because of like we're home, you know, the way we're doing things, and for her age, and as I said, that as she gets older and older, we will use it a lot more. But it's a really good resource. You can print off they've got PowerPoint presentations on there, they've got everything you need on there, like all the worksheets that you can print out for pretty much every single topic that you can think about. And as I said, it has got all the key stages all the way up to like the senior school age, so that is a really good resource. But I bought that because I thought we'd need it. But since I have bought that, I have found so many free resources on the internet. There just seems to be loads of free ones, and also I've kind of come up with some of our own things as well, as things have been tweaked, and we're kind of finding our rhythm, and I'm finding out what kind of works for her. I've kind of been creating some of my own. So if you want some kind of like ideas and inspiration, follow me on Pinterest, because I have loads of different Pinterest boards, and I make a board for every single subject. So you can follow me on Pinterest if you want like ideas for those. And also on Instagram, you can follow me on Instagram if you want to see some of what we're working on. But I also follow like the hashtags. I follow unschooling, I follow homeschool, I follow holistic education, I follow forest school, and I have been finding so many ideas and so much inspiration from those hashtags. That yeah, really enjoying the hashtags, and some of the photography is absolutely beautifully curated as well. So so yeah, if you're sort of like thinking of embarking on this journey and need some help, go follow me on there. Some days are really hard, and some days I think like, what the hell are we doing? But other days are amazing. In the whole, it is a really wonderful experience. I get to spend lots of time together with her, and yeah, we are really enjoying it. We've learnt a lot about each other, you know, and as I said, some days I'm pulling my hair out and I think, oh my god, like what are we doing? But in the main, it's a really nice experience, and we're all learning a lot. Like I'm learning a lot as well. Like I'm really enjoying like all the research and all the things that we're doing. So I'm gonna go now because I've talked quite a lot and the light is going on me now. It's late into the evening now, so I'm gonna lose my light. So hopefully that's kind of answered some of your questions about what we're doing and how we're doing it. If you've got any more questions, let me know, and all that jazz. And if you've got any good resources that you think I might be interested in, let me know. And there's another one, Teachers Pay Teachers is another quite a good one, but that's a paid for one as well. And Raising Little Shoots is also apparently good. I haven't tried it, but I want to try it because there's so many people raving about it. Don't have the money at the moment to buy those, but maybe one day I will. So yeah, that's it. Thanks for watching, guys. Bye.